Hello, everyone? One wrong move. Tons of steel can come crashing down in seconds. From towering cranes suddenly collapsing to enormous loads swinging violently out of control. These machines can turn a routine lifting operation into a terrifying disaster without warning. Today we're looking at some of the most shocking crane accidents and heavy lifting equipment fails ever caught on camera. Some of these moments are so dangerous, it's hard to believe anyone walked away. Before we move on, make sure to like the video and subscribe to the channel for more unbelievable accidents and fails caught on camera. Now, let's get into it.
That's a bad day.
It's okay!
Powerful winds reaching speeds of up to 17 meters per second brought down a tower crane in Coquimbo, Chile. The collapse damaged 5 homes and 6 vehicles, but thankfully, no one in the area suffered serious injuries.
What the you thinking?
For more than 2 decades, this towering crane was a familiar landmark at Chile's port of San Antonio. Now, its long career is coming to an end as crews begin the dramatic demolition of the massive structure. These were the first moments of a construction collapse in New Orleans. On the morning of October 12, 2019, the upper floors of a hotel still under construction suddenly began collapsing. Setting up a tower crane is never an easy task, even for experienced professionals.
Stoi. Trochę krzywo, ale stoi. Teraz będą ją chyba podnosić. Pas. Uwaga!
Instead of using properly reinforced ramps, they attempted to get the job done with makeshift materials. The problem is, a crawler crane is certainly no lawnmower, and shortcuts like these can come with a very high price. At the port of Rostock, engineers were testing a massive ship-mounted crane designed to install offshore wind turbines. It was rated to lift up to 5,000 tons, yet one of its components failed while handling a load that was less than half of its maximum capacity. An expensive locomotive was being prepared for export at an Indian port, but it suffered serious damage before it even had a chance to reach its buyer.
Operator.
Man.
Steel itself may not catch fire, but extreme heat can rapidly weaken the wire rope. Within only a few minutes, the cable can lose enough strength that it is no longer capable of safely carrying the load.
Yep, saw that coming.
Being a professional means knowing how to minimize risks. Somehow, in this situation, they managed to do almost the exact opposite. A 65-meter construction crane erupted in flames above Sydney at a new university building site. The crane operator managed to escape safely, while workers and people in nearby buildings were quickly evacuated. About 30 minutes later, the intense heat burned through the boom cables, sending the massive structure crashing down onto an unoccupied section of the site. Investigators later suspected that a diesel fuel leak may have started the fire.
So the bottom of it's starting to catch.
Yeah, so
Here goes the fire out the ladder. Oi!
Oh!
Oi! Hell! Look at the firing in the cage, man!
Using two cranes to lift a single load requires extremely precise weight distribution. Even a small shift in balance can destabilize the entire operation and send everything spiraling out of control.
Я снял, я же сказал. Вот так вот, ребята.
지역 자체가 문제 지역으로 몰리자 보니 이미지가 똥이라고 바꿨습니다. 그 이후에 이제 지역 예술인들이 재능 기부 차원에서 벽화를 그리는.
Lifting a heavy load out of the water is far more difficult than it might seem. While the object is submerged, buoyancy helps support part of its weight. But the moment it breaks the surface, That support disappears, leaving the crane to handle the full load almost instantly. At first glance, replacing a backyard utility pole looks like a routine job. But when the pole suddenly lost its balance, the situation escalated quickly, knocking out power across an entire neighborhood in Long Beach, California. A rescue operation in Vietnam turned into another disaster. The middle section of a bridge collapsed beneath the weight of an overloaded truck. A massive 70-ton crane was brought in to recover the vehicle, but even that powerful machine couldn't handle the task. Sometimes you really have to wonder what they were thinking. They were simply trying to pull a boom lift out, but their approach quickly turned into a disaster waiting to happen.
Перевозить вот там с одного конца в другой. Паромщик это,
Слушай, у нас есть эти.
Да, срочно лодку покупаем.
Вы это, журналисту скажите об этой инициативе.
Да. Ага, вот тут как раз компания.
When heavy machinery is involved, everything can go wrong in a matter of seconds. But getting things back under control can take hours of careful work, precise planning, and some seriously impressive engineering.
บอกรับอย่างเดียวไม่ต้องดิ้นรับอย่างเดียวเอาค่อยๆเลี้ยวหน่อยบ้านค่อยๆเลี้ยวหน่อย
Ломать, не строить!
Сыграл.
Holy crap.
Every machine has a breaking point, and pushing past it is downright reckless.
When you're lifting heavy machinery, even the smallest mistake can lead to major consequences. The operator's experience is only one part of the equation. Choosing the correct slings and rigging setup is equally important, and simply knowing the weight of the equipment isn't enough. Dynamic forces can shift unexpectedly, concentrating enormous stress on certain parts of the rigging and potentially causing the entire operation to fail.
Crashing down.
Кран 600 тонн.
On a narrow mountain road in Yemen, these cranes have almost no room to maneuver and absolutely zero margin for error. Pipeline crews regularly have to push their heavy equipment to its limits. Within seconds, it became clear that there was going to be no simple or tidy way to get the job done that day.
красота, смотри.
Aytdim-ku mana bu syomka bo'ladi mana. Voy.
Endi bari endi bo'ldi. Kirib chiqilmadimi?